After a long day, immersed in work at the store, I was utterly exhausted. The monotonous tasks seemed to have drained every last bit of my energy. As the sun began to set, I found myself in an internal struggle. Should I rest or use my remaining strength for something that would nourish my soul? In the end, I decided to step outside and visit the wild fields, now in their most vibrant season. Balsam root and lupine bloomed in abundance, stretching out like a golden purple carpet under the gentle sunset. The sweet fragrance of lilacs drifted through the breeze, bringing an unexpected sense of tranquility. I didn't do much, just walked, breathed in the fresh air, and picked a few flowers. Yet, this small moment turned an ordinary day into a memorable one. A sudden rain shower forced me to leave, but as I returned home, I realized something important. The value of a day isn't just in the tasks we complete, but also in the moments we take for ourselves. I had no regrets about using my last bit of energy to appreciate nature's beauty. On the contrary, I was grateful that I didn't miss the chance to witness spring at its finest. Sometimes, a simple decision, to step away from the cycle of work and immerse in nature, can be enough to turn a dull day into a meaningful one. After a tiring workday, it's hard to find the motivation to pursue the things we love. We've all been there, feeling drained, our minds empty, and all we want is to curl up on the couch, scroll through our phones, or watch a familiar TV show. There's nothing wrong with that. But have you ever noticed how, day after day, your passions and hobbies keep getting postponed, always waiting for a tomorrow that never comes? We often tell ourselves, I'll paint that picture this weekend, or I'll learn to play an instrument when I have time. But in the end, we get lost in temporary distractions, choosing what's easier over something more meaningful. I used to be the same way, until I realized that if I kept waiting for the perfect moment when I had enough energy and time, that moment might never come. Instead, I started making small changes, putting my phone away earlier, setting aside a few minutes to journal, or simply stepping outside to enjoy the fresh air. Surprisingly, when I made time for things that mattered, my body and mind began to adjust. I no longer felt as exhausted as before. Instead, these simple joys actually gave me more energy. If you've been putting off your passions, maybe it's time to give yourself a chance. A day is not just for working and feeling drained, it's also for living and enjoying. In modern society, we often feel pressured to always be doing something productive to prove that we're not wasting time. But the truth is, you don't have to constantly create value to justify your existence. You have the right to rest, to enjoy quiet moments, and to do nothing, without feeling guilty. We often forget that resting is not laziness. It's the way our bodies and minds recover after long days of work. Sometimes, the best thing you can do for yourself is to allow yourself to relax without any expectations. How many times have you felt guilty for spending an evening just listening to music, watching your favorite movie, or even sitting in silence, doing nothing? Society makes us believe that empty time is wasted time, that we should always be striving, producing, and creating something new. But the truth is, your value isn't defined by what you produce. You are valuable simply because you exist. Learning to appreciate moments of rest is a key part of a balanced life. When you allow yourself to truly relax, you'll find that your mind feels lighter and you have more energy to pursue what truly matters. So, let go of the guilt and enjoy those quiet moments without pressure. You don't have to prove anything. You are enough. We often get caught up in instant entertainment, social media, TV, video games, to the point where we forget about our true passions. These things offer quick enjoyment, but sometimes they take away the opportunity to engage in something more meaningful. If you've ever felt like a whole day slipped by with nothing accomplished except hours of scrolling, maybe it's time to try a different approach. Cutting down on short-term distractions can be challenging at first. When you try to limit screen time, you might feel empty or restless. But little by little, you'll start to realize that there are so many wonderful things waiting for you. Books you want to read, paintings you want to create, hobbies you've long forgotten. Instead of spending the whole evening aimlessly scrolling, try using that time to do something for yourself. Read a chapter of a book, write a few lines in a journal, take a walk at sunset, anything that helps you reconnect with yourself. At first, you might have to push yourself, But over time, you'll find that these activities bring fresh energy and make life feel richer. Start with a small change. Turn off your phone 30 minutes earlier each day and use that time for something more meaningful. You'll be surprised at how much more fulfilling life feels when you reduce unnecessary distractions. There are tasks we've always wanted to complete but keep putting off. Maybe it's a craft project, redecorating a cozy corner of your home, or simply organizing your space. We often wait for inspiration, but the truth is, inspiration rarely just appears. It comes from taking action. Today, I finally completed something I had been planning for a long time: decorating my porch. I had wanted to repaint the furniture and plant shade-friendly flowers like bleeding hearts and forget-me-nots, but I always felt too drained to start. Yet, once I took the first step, I found myself more and more engaged. Every small task completed gave me the motivation to keep going. After finishing the porch, I decided to indulge in another favorite activity: pressed flower art. The flowers I had pressed weeks ago were now ready to be turned into little works of art. This wasn't just a source of joy, but also a small tradition I've maintained every spring, creating floral pieces that capture the essence of the season. What I learned is that instead of waiting for inspiration, sometimes you just have to start. Once you take the first step, creativity and energy will follow. Try dedicating time to a project you've been postponing. You might find joy and fulfillment in the process itself. Life is always changing, and so is my home. Recently, my husband and I have been working on renovating an attic room, a space that had been neglected for quite some time. This little corner was once a favorite spot of mine, but with the changes in our family, I hadn't spent much time there. Now, things are shifting in a new direction, and I'm excited to share this process with you. My husband, who has a passion for woodworking and construction, has taken on the project of transforming this space into an actual bedroom. Right now, we lack storage space, and the small room we previously used isn't even big enough for a proper bed. So our plan is to turn the attic into a cozy, fully functional retreat. Although the renovation is still in progress, I've already started decorating other areas of the house to bring a fresh, warm atmosphere. This made me realize that even when some parts of life feel chaotic, we can still find comfort by focusing on small things within our control. Every time I step into the attic, I picture the moment it will be complete. A cozy space where I can curl up with a book, sip tea, and enjoy peaceful moments. I'll update you on the progress soon, and I hope this project inspires you to refresh your own living space too. This week has been a busy one, but what worries me most is my little dog's health. For a while now, I've noticed a small lump on his head, and after several vet visits, it's been decided that surgery is necessary to remove it. Even though it's just a minor procedure, I can't help but feel anxious. He's such an important part of my life, and the thought of him going through surgery makes me uneasy. While waiting for the surgery, I've been spending as much time with him as possible, cuddling, playing, and spoiling him with treats. He remains cheerful and energetic, completely unaware of what's coming. Seeing his carefree spirit, I remind myself to stay calm and hopeful. At the same time, I've been reading more books than ever, nearly 50 so far this year. A habit I started at the beginning of the year, placing books where I can see them and choosing reading over my phone, has truly paid off. Next week may be unpredictable, but I'm trying to stay occupied with positive things. Hopefully, the surgery goes smoothly, and I can continue sharing meaningful stories with you.